everyone. Today I'm kind of going to go over how to create an outline. Why do we create an outline in the first place? Well, first it helps you organize the information you have gathered for your research paper. This organization will give you a roadmap to follow when you write your paper. It also will help you in the editing and reviewing process, because if you have written your paper and you go back and kind of compare it to your outline, you might be like, oh, I forgot this little bit of information that was really awesome and I want to include it. So it can help both before and after you write your paper. This is just a slide that shows what the basic outline looks like. It kind of came directly from your book. It is an outline that I like to use for research papers, and you can just take a moment to look over it. We're going to go into it in more depth later on in this presentation. We're going to fill it in. I am going to pretend that I'm going to write a paper about autism. Please note this is just completely made up. I just kind of threw this together for this presentation. Autism in itself is a very broad topic. A lot of you were having issues with coming up with some awesome topics, but they were so broad. But sometimes it's better to narrow them down for a research paper. So I narrowed it down and created my thesis. After thinking about this topic and researching it, I decided that my thesis is going to be, there are many simple modifications that teachers can make to help a child with an autism spectrum disorder be successful in the classroom. It covers the autism spectrum disorder, but it's a specific topic within the topic of autism spectrum disorder. So it's a little bit more narrow. I can find lots of information about it, and it will make a much better paper than just a broad topic that goes all over the place. Now that I have my thesis, I need to come up with at least 3 points that I want to cover, and you can do more than 3. You can do 4, 5. I don't recommend going much past 5 unless you just have a lot of wealth of information. Your papers can be too long, so try to keep them concise but within the word limit. So after I did my research and I saw the different things I could cover, I decided to concentrate on 3 things: specialized equipment, physical placement, and behavior modifications. Please note that these statements are not long. Some of you are writing like entire sentences and paragraphs. They can be short, sweet, to the point. And they are also parallel. Specialized equipment, physical placement, behavior modifications, kind of an adjective-noun combination. Now, I have my thesis. That's the first part. And now I have 3 points. And notice that they are in Roman numerals. Now that I have the bare basic information, because that is like as basic of an outline as you can get, I'm going to add more information about each one of my points. So for example, let's say I'm doing my research. I found that sitting on yoga balls instead of chairs is helpful. Noise blocking headphones are good for noisy activities like assemblies in the cafeteria. A stress ball is useful with the sensory processing issues, and some students need sunglasses for the indoors because of the light. And by the way, all of this is true. Now my outline is starting to look something like this. So I still have my thesis, and now I have my point 1. But notice under point 1, my point A is a yoga ball. Point B is noise blocking headphones. And then I also found that these are most helpful in assemblies and cafeterias, so I put those as bullet points, or numbers rather, under part B. And then my stress ball and my sunglasses. So I'm going to keep on researching and finding out all the information that I've gathered, and then I'm going to fill it in for the rest of my points. And then the final outline will wind up looking something like this. So I have my thesis at the top, and I have my point 1, and I have the things that I wanted to cover under point 1, the yoga ball, the headphones, etc. Then I have number 2, the physical placement, and I found that, 3 points. The front of the room is best, near the teacher's desk, away from distractions. Now, I could have gone under A and B and see if I have more information and add a 1 and a 2. You don't necessarily have to, especially if it's your first outline. Sometimes you do your first outline, and then in doing more research before you actually write your final research paper, you might find more information, and you can always go back and put like a point 1 or 2 underneath your A, B, or C, or D, or whatever. And then number 3, the behavior modifications, the use of positive reinforcement, use of schedule. So, if I was writing this research paper, this would be my basic outline for that research paper. So before I start writing, I can sit down and look at it and go, okay, this is everything I need to cover in my paper. And then after I write the paper, I can go back and look at it and make sure that I've covered every single topic that I want to cover.